What you are about to watch is the world's first interview with the biggest Nicaraguan to ever come from Twitch.tv. Edwin Meza, known simply online as Edwin, is notoriously hard to get a hold of, and even when you can talk to him, he is very private about his life. I am told that over 36 TV networks have reached out to him just over the last few months, and he has turned them all down. However, we here at 27 Network sent him an offer he couldn't refuse. We have successfully became the first people in the world to ever interview Edwin. The following interview you are about to witness was recorded at Edwin's private estate in Indian Rocks, Florida on Friday, December 1st, 2023. This is a side of Edwin the public has never seen before, and I found myself at times in awe at the great Nicaraguan male they call Edwin. Without further ado, the most highly anticipated interview in internet history is here. I present to you the Nicaraguan male known as Edwin, the interview. All right, so here we are. This is the interview I've been getting thousands of emails a day asking for. Man, I am just so grateful and ecstatic for all the viewers who are going to be watching this. First off, I want to thank you so much for taking the time away from your busy schedule. I know you have a lot of stuff to do, so thank you so much for taking the time to do this intimate one-on-one interview with me. Why don't we first start off by you telling the audience what they should call you?
I am what you would call a child molester in the body of a man, right?
Hey, yo, listen, this is not that kind of interview, all right? This is a professional setting. I'm a professional content creator, and you will not spew that sick shit on my channel, okay? In fact, you say something like that again, I'm going to get up, I'm going to walk away, I'm going to walk out this room for good. I'm not coming back, all right? This interview will be over, all right? You might be able to get away with saying that shit in Nicaragua, but you won't get away with saying it here, all right? That's the final warning, Edwin. You got me all flustered, but why don't we just get right into the most requested thing fans wanted me to ask you? So you had a very successful podcast with Arab called the Brandress Podcast, and it ended pretty suddenly. Could you maybe give some information on why the podcast ended?
So I get this question a lot, dude, and I'm like, a little tired of answering it, but I'll answer it for you because you seem cool. So me and Arab were, best friends, and I really trusted that guy with everything. And one day I came home, dude, and he was fucking my dad. So, like you keep like, like making content with somebody that be fucking your dad, So, I just felt like at that point we had to take a little bit of a hiatus, you know what I mean? And, still trying to get the image out of my mind, you know what I mean? It was crazy. Like he was fucking my dad, and my dad was fucking him. And somehow I'm in the closet filming. You know what I mean? Somehow I'm in the closet filming and I don't know what's going on. So,
Yeah, man, that really sucks. I know a lot of people were into the podcast with Arab that you did. I watched a few episodes myself in the past. One thing I really admired was the fact that Arab let you be on the podcast, even though your special needs kind of like overshadowed some of the guests. You have to be very patient with people like you. And so I really respected that Arab basically just let a Make-A-Wish person on the podcast as his second host. And even though you really overshadowed some of the guests and what they were trying to say, I respect Arab for doing that. And I also, like I mentioned, I saw the most overall question I got was ask him about the Brandress podcast, why it ended. But I also got a lot of people like heartwarming saying, please tell Edwin and Arab thank you so much, because the Brandress podcast taught me a lot of life lessons, and without it, I don't know if I would be here. And I know this interview is very particularly short, but is there something you could tell the viewers at home? Is there something you could teach us in the next 60 seconds, something valuable that would really help them in their future endeavors? If you could say something like that, I'm sure they would really appreciate it.
Listen, here's how you effectively lure children into a van, okay? What you do is you get flyers, all right? You get flyers that say that you're a talent agent and that you're trying to find kids who are like talented that can like sing or act or athletic or whatever, and you give them the flyers, right? And then you tell them you're going to be hosting like interviews or like castings or whatever at your house, whenever, and then you'll pick them up. And, at that point it's all, or whatever,
Okay, what did I just say a couple fucking minutes ago, buddy? This is not that kind of interview. You can't just spew that perverted, nonsensical stuff on here, all right? please keep it family friendly. All right. I respect the hell out of you. I know a lot of my viewers respect the hell out of you, and I don't want to get new viewers. I don't want them to get the wrong idea from this interview. So I want you to come across as the inspirational figure that you are. And I think that some of this fucking shit you're saying is going to really lead them down the wrong path. So please stop it. Please keep it family friendly for the rest of the interview. And just on to the next topic. It's clear that you are a workaholic. It's clear that you have this ruthless work ethic, and you never stop working. And I noticed on some of your streams, you always thank your high school football coach for what he instilled in you. And I'm just curious, you never actually elaborate what he did for you. So could you tell us what your high school football coach taught you?
This is something that my coach, when I played football, instilled in me and my team, which is like, if you guys want to work as a unit, you have to be able to see and hold each other's units. You know what I mean? And it's like really important to have that synergy between yourself and your brothers. You know, we used to do this thing. It was called like an elephant line or something, where you'd like basically like our dicks were in between our like, you know what I mean, and you'd like hold it. We all just walk straight, you know what I mean, in a line, and it was like to exercise being like super like in tune. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was. I miss football, bro. Football was dope, dude. Football was sick.
Yeah, it sounds awesome, man. I would love to have had a coach like that. Maybe call Chris Anyway, besides playing sports, what else did you spend your time doing for those 4 years in high school?
Matter of fact, I used to fuck dudes like you in high school.
What a crazy thing to say on the internet in an interview that's going to be viewed by millions. You know, a lot of the stuff you've said so far could be clipped out of context, and a certain person in a wheelchair could use these clips to make a fake interview of some kind. So you might want to be careful what you're saying in this real interview, because I don't want someone in a wheelchair to take these clips and turn it into a fake interview. Because like I said, this is going to be viewed by millions. But speaking of millions, one thing I think most people know about you is that you're a very big investor. In fact, you've invested in some of the biggest companies in the world before they really took off or were known. In fact, I saw in your portfolio that you heavily invested in the dating app called Grindr right before it took off. But then I was also doing some research, and I saw about a dozen articles that said you refused to invest in the neighborhood security app called the Nextdoor app. This Nextdoor app has taken off and is like $1 billion in the profit. And with your like-minded, smart investor brain, why did you decline so heavy to invest in the Nextdoor app? I'm just curious what your mindset was in declining investing in the Nextdoor app.
Yeah, like for example, like the problem with like the Nextdoor app, and the reason I don't use it is because I'm afraid that if I ever log onto it, I'll just see like posts about like, you know, the fact that, you know, when I beat my chick, it's like really audible and like the neighbors probably hear and shit, you know, like stuff like that. So I'm just like trying to avoid reading about it or whatever, because none of their business, you know what I mean? Like what I do, you know?
Yeah, that's a very weird reason not to invest. And honestly, I think that's actually domestic violence that you just publicly admitted to. So I hope there are no law enforcement agencies watching this. If there are, please investigate this. However, that leads me into my next question. Could you ever be a police officer?
I could never be a cop, dude. I really could never be a police officer, because I would just abuse my authority to have my way with men.
That's very alarming and concerning, to be honest. I'm glad they never let you people in charge of that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Because if they let you people in charge, that's the kind of stuff that could happen. That's the kind of stuff that gives police officers bad names. So, yeah, man, what a shot. Yeah, I don't even know what to say to some of this stuff. But I do want to backtrack for a second. Just a minute ago, you mentioned beating your chick. And while I don't want to get back on that topic, I understand that both you and your chick, your longtime girlfriend, I don't want to call you your chick, your longtime girlfriend, I know that you guys both tomorrow's Saturday, and I know you're both sharing a birthday and an anniversary. So first off, I want to congratulate you guys. I know you've been in a relationship for like 7 years, something crazy, which is amazing in these times. And just based on public record, I know you're turning 29 years old tomorrow, but how old is your girlfriend turning tomorrow, if you don't mind me asking?
Tomorrow's Devon's birthday. Okay, so make sure you guys wish her a happy birthday. I'm gonna be spending some time with her tomorrow. Yeah, dude. She's finally turning 18, so stoked on that. You know, we've been in a relationship for about 7 years. She's finally turning 18.
I don't know what to say to that, honestly. You realize that would make her underage for the entire time you have been together, correct? You do understand that the brutality of this situation is crazy. I mean, Chris Hansen has practically made a career off of busting sickos like you. What do you have to say to that?
Age is only a number.
Well, that is true. Age is only a number, but a felony is also a felony if you look at it that way. Man, I'm like fucking crawling in my own skin at this point. This interview has gotten so far off track, it's sick. And I guess at this point, I should just ask the questions that are going to get me views, because you've already incriminated yourself a dozen times over. So I'm just going to ask what's going to get me views at this point. So anybody from here on out, viewer discretion is advised. Now, I know it's no secret that you got your first taste of fame from the Juke Squad prank YouTube videos, along with brothers Jack and Turner Tenney. Just real quick, I was wondering which one of them has a bigger dick.
It was Barry Dick, T for Jack, for sure. It's like as big as my face. We've measured them. Like I had them both. You know? So.
Okay, well, that answer is definitely going to get me some more clicks. It's definitely going to get that interview up there in the search algorithms more, so thank you so much for letting us in on the intimate details of Jack and Turner Tenney's hog. Now, just a few more questions before we end their interview. If you could free one person in the entire world, I mean one person in the entire world from prison who you think is actually not guilty and is innocent, who would it be?
Free R. Kelly, that man did nothing wrong.
Yikes. Yikes, bro. Out of everyone who could be innocent, you picked that piece of shit. I mean, there is no denying he is the king of R&B. But man, what a fucking sicko. Why would you pick him out of anybody? I mean, there's people who are actually proven innocent that are in jail, and you're going to pick R. Kelly. Speaking of R. Kelly, I guess, what is your favorite music video he released in his entire career?
It's like a chick with her face blurred sitting in a chair. And it's him like naked, but like facing away from the camera, and he just starts like pissing on her. And then the lawyer's like, "You can't even tell that's him." And then he stops pissing on her, and like the camera falls over slightly. He stops pissing on her. He tries to like adjust the camera, and you can like literally see his face. And he turns around and he like keeps pissing on her. And then and then somebody calls him, and then he goes, "Yeah, this is Robert Sylvester Kelly." He goes, "Oh, you need my social security number?" And then he reads out his social security number, and he has like RSK on his butt cheek, like tattooed, so you can tell it's him.
Yeah, that's not a music video, pal. That's actually the video they used to convict him of those sex crimes. So I think we're gonna end the interview there, because that incriminates yourself. I don't know why you're watching those videos, man. That's really fucking weird. I can't believe you would even bring that up in this interview. Like I said, you're just incriminating yourself more and more at this point. So I'm gonna have to end the interview right here, because I really don't want to get demonetized. I got to give you the opportunity to respond. So is there anything else you want to say to the world before we end the interview?
Because slavery was legal. It wasn't wrong back then.
Yep, and that's what I was afraid of. Another vile, disgusting statement from you. On that note, folks, I'm going to end this one-on-one, intimate, sit-down interview with the man they call Edwin, and I can promise you right now, as soon as this interview's over, I will be sending this full, uncut version to the authorities that need to see this, because this man is a fucking menace to society, and quite frankly needs to go back to Nicaragua. And I don't even think they deserve him, honestly. He needs to go to Guantanamo Bay, if you know what I'm saying, okay? That's closer to Florida than Nicaragua, and that's where he deserves to be. So I will be sending this interview to all the authorities, and with that being said, if you're still watching to this point, I want to sincerely apologize for what you just endured, and I promise you I will be sending this to the authorities. So thank you so much for watching. Once again, this was a 27 exclusive, probably the worst exclusive we've ever brought to you, and yeah, my heart goes out to you for enduring this. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.
Dude, chat, bro. Hey, chat, can I be honest, bro? And like, I know streaming shit or whatever, man. I cannot wait to get fucked in my ass later tonight, dude.